Hey, what is up everyone? Welcome back to another unboxing, and today, this is a big one. And this is the Ex-S Gundam / S Gundam, and of course, it's a master grade by Bandai. Once again, as usual, this video right here would not be possible without those awesome people over at Hobbylink Japan, so if you do want one of your own, there's a link down there in the description. Now here we go. So first off right here, I have to mention that this box art is insanely cool, and this video right here may not be given an actual decent feel for how big this box is, but it's actually so far away to keep it in frame that I can't reach it. So I'm just gonna have to lean in a bit closer and pull it closer. So right here on the front of the box we do have, I think this one right here is the S Gundam, and this one here is the Ex-S Gundam? I think so. It's got all that jazz going on around there on the back. But just look at that insanely awesome detail. That looks fantastic. Anyway, that is enough about the box itself. Let's take a look around on the sides of this absolute monstrosity. So first off here we got a front and rear view of what this thing will look like once it's out of the box and put together. This is the S Gundam. So just flying over here just for a second, and here's the comparison of the S Gundam versus the Ex-S Gundam. The Ex-S Gundam is huge. Well, the S Gundam is huge as well, I think. These are kits I have never built before. These are based on kits that came out quite a while ago, the Master Grade S Gundam and the Master Grade Ex-S Gundam. This time around they're a little different. The color is more blue, less red and orange. And they have adapted a lot of the parts that came in the Deep Striker, the Master Grade Deep Striker. I did a review of that if you want to check that out. But they have adapted some of the parts of that into this kit right here, and I can't wait to see which parts are which. Anyway, moving back. So according to this, there's a few gimmicks on here. This sliding gimmick in the shoulder, I'm pretty sure we did see with the Deep Striker. Apparently the size of the head has been reduced on this. I guess that is compared to the older variant of the S Gundam and the Ex-S Gundam. This right here is a transforming mobile suit. That is something that tends to frighten me a little bit because it can, in general, undermine the general integrity of the mobile suit itself. So if there is a transformation, it can make it a little bit weaker. I'm not sure how that will be here, but according to this here, it separates into two, the legs and the upper body, to become two different flyers. There's a quick look at both of those. We've got the G Attacker, the G Bomber. We also have the G Core. It says here that there are two variants of the cockpit or core section included. It seems like one is a core fighter of sorts. The other just seems to be some pieces in general. So I guess we'll see what that is all about. Sliding over, and we've got that absolutely massive beam smart gun. According to this, it is connected at the hip, so that is exactly what we would have seen with the Deep Striker. Once again, there is both variants of what it will look like as S Gundam and Ex-S Gundam, and the price is no longer on the sides of these boxes, so I'll throw the price right down here in the corner for you to see how much it would cost you. So spinning this huge thing all the way around to the other side, and here we have a front and rear view of the finished Ex-S Gundam. Getting in a little bit closer there, we can see that the incoms on the head and the legs have been recreated with wire. These things look awesome, really cool. Sliding over some more, and I have to say, when this thing is transformed into its flyer mode, this looks insane. It's even on a base the size of what you would see with a perfect grade. Pretty cool. Apparently we have some articulation added to the boosters, some info on the weaponry, and apparently it contains an abundance of armaments. I don't know if 6 things count as an abundance, but we got that beam smart gun, which looks so good. They've been really harping on about this silhouette here quite a bit, but apparently there is a smooth silhouette around the torso and G part. Some more boasting about the part separation here. I hope it is half as good as what they're saying on here, because it's sounding awesome so far. Some info on the G Cruiser, and it says stable here. Hopefully it is stable. Apparently we've got a left and right expressive open hand, so I'm not sure what kind of fingers come in this box, but maybe the swappable finger types. Apparently there are some Hajime Katoki original markings in this box, so they should be pretty awesome to see. And right there we've got a whole bunch of other information on the S and Ex-S Gundam. Once again, they're saying that the parts division on this, or the part separation, is good. Outstanding action poses can be done. We'll see. And we've got a bunch of decals in here. But anyway, that is enough about the box. Let's flip this over, open it up from the bottom so we can get that manual first, and let's see what we've got. Wow, this is thick. So on the front of the manual there, we do have the image we had on the front of the box, a little bit realigned, so that does mean that these are two separate images. I would love to see the completed images personally. I think they'd look great. Around then on the back, there is completed images of what this thing will look like once it is completed. So on busting the manual open, on the first page we've got a bit of the history about the mobile suit itself. Once again, as usual, I will throw all this up on the screen so you can read it at your own leisure, but the general gist is, the first part is about the S Gundam itself, that it was made by Anaheim Electronics, about its transformation, and pretty much just about some of its features. Moving on down a little bit then, and we've got some info on the Ex-S Gundam upgrade. It talks about the new features that are involved in this particular Gundam, as well as the G Cruiser mode, which is for traveling long distances. Down at the bottom of the page then, we've got a bunch of information on different mobile suits that use Greek lettering as their names, all the way from the Rick Diaz, which is Gamma, to New Gundam down there. Flipping that over then, and here is basically your step-by-step guide for building this thing. So it says to build it legs, then chest, and then afterwards you can transform it. But however, it does say up here on the top that this product can be chosen to be assembled as either the Ex-S Gundam or the S Gundam. So it seems like maybe changing one to the other may not be so simple. So my question for you guys, let me know down in the comments. Will I build this as the Ex-S Gundam or the S Gundam first, just in case it's next to impossible to switch it between both? Hopefully it won't be, but let me know which one you want to see more, just in case, and that is the way I'll build it. So once again, sound off in the comments, Ex-S Gundam or S Gundam. Moving along then, and we've got a whole 4 pages dedicated to the runners on this thing, so that is quite a bit. There is the decals we'll be seeing soon. Moving further then into the manual, and yes, it does seem like you have to choose Ex-S or S Gundam as you're building through this. This may get a little bit confusing because it does put a big bold outline around the parts that have to be built a specific sort of way, but at the same time, I could see this getting a little confusing. All in all, it doesn't seem so bad. The legs in particular do seem to have to be built one way or the other, but once again, I'm not quite sure just yet. In the middle here, then, we've got a whole bunch of extra info. Over here, we've got Operation Eagle Fall, which is some info on a battle scene between the Ex-S Gundam and the Gundam Mark V. There is the color guide for the pilot, as well as that 1-point step, which is panel line it. We've got some info right here on the transformation. All this information, once again, I will throw up there on the screen so you can read that yourself. And then down here, we've got some more info then on the head incom, the A parts main wing unit, the core block, additional propellant tanks, reflector incom, as well as the B parts main wing unit. And lastly then, down there we've got some information on the core block system, which of course is that little escape jet. So that is essentially it about the manual. Let's take a quick look through the runners. So now moving on to the runners, and I'm not going to waste your time going through each individual one because there is a grand total of 42 runners in here, ignoring the polycaps, beam sabers, and base. So like I said, this kit is made up of 42 runners, 16 of which are from 2002's S Gundam kit. The majority of the inner frame is made up from those runners, and these are made out of ABS, I might add. So this is a very old school material to use. It's very rubbery is probably one way to put it. Some people say there's some issues involved with painting it, but for me, I find that it's a little hard to work with because it is rubbery. When it comes to joints and stuff, it does catch quite well because of its rubberiness. But for me, the worst aspect about it is it doesn't really mold much detail. It looks a little bit blurry, a little bit gelatinous, and not as nice as the usual plastic that Bandai uses. Moving on to the 2003 Ex-S runners, there are 8 out of the 42 runners of this box made up of 2003's add-on runners that were new to the Ex-S kit back then. Next up in here, out of those 42 runners, we have 8 runners from last year's Deep Striker. These are labeled Bandai 2018 S Gundam, but these are 100% from the Deep Striker kit. And lastly then, what is new for this year? Even though it isn't from this year, it does say on them Bandai Spirits 2018, but what is new for this kit right here is 10 runners. And I'm being generous when I say 10 runners because some of these runners are tiny, like this yellow one, it only has 1 part on it. So I did actually go full nerd out on this, and I did weigh all the runners just so you know what percentage of this kit is made up of what. So this kit is 51.5% S Gundam from 2002, 20.5% Ex-S Gundam from 2003, 17.6% Deep Striker, which came out last year, and a paltry 10.4% new runners for this kit right here. So essentially this thing is over 70% Ex-S Gundam kit from back in the day. I will mention there that I did add the polycaps into the S Gundam from 2002 because that's where they're from, and I did not weigh the base that came with the Ex-S Gundam. That is this right here. It's funny enough that it actually says ABS on this. This is not made from ABS, as you can tell, it's made from a clear, hard plastic. But all in all, there you go. that is the breakdown of the plastic in the box. After that then we've got beam sabers from 2006, 2 bags of screws, so you're going to need a screwdriver for this kit. We have 2 runners of polycaps. Here are the stickers, and just like with the Deep Striker, there's an awful lot of green and blue reflective stickers on here. This kit was talking about part separation, not as good as they were getting at, it seems. I would have preferred to see these, at least options for these to be in colored clear plastic. Lastly then we've those Katoki designed decals. These are just your standard sticker style decals, no dry transfers, no water slides, but they do look pretty nice, but some of them kinda look like essays. I know Katoki likes to go a bit mad with the text that he puts on kits, but look at that. What seriously could be written on there? The pilot's will? But anyway, that is it for the unboxing. There's a whole lot of plastic in here. This might take me a few days to build because, well, there's a whole lot going on in here. But once again, this kit is heavily based on 2002's and 2003's S Gundam and Ex-S Gundam. So it will have a bit of an old school feel. I've never built either of these, so if you have built those and you've got any tips, anything that should be done, anything to avoid, anything that should be glued, let me know down there in the comments. But anyway, as always, make sure to come back for the review. If you want one of your own, there's a link down there in the description. And as always, I'll see you next time.